Welcome back to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Lainey Carlock, here to talk you through the weather. First, I would like to start off talking about Roswell and the flooding that happened. I, myself, did get trapped in the flooding. I was in Roswell visiting family and witnessed everything firsthand. It was horrible. People's lives got ruined, homes got ruined, and it really was devastating upon the small little town. So please, if you have a few extra minutes today, put them in your prayers, reach out to those you know that may be down there, and offer some help if you can. It would really be appreciated towards everybody down there. Going into the weather, as I said before, we're looking pretty dry in the entirety of the United States. A little bit of rain up towards New York and Chicago, and between Billings and Portland. As we move into our nice little state here, we see that we are just dry. There is expected possible cloudiness, so it's not showing on the radar right now, but that is to come early tomorrow morning and a little bit later into tonight. I today have our drought conditions, which I know as New Mexicans, we do worry about that, though we are seeing an all-time low in our drought conditions right now. As you can see, our key is up here. As we can see, we're in the abnormal drought for most of the state with a little bit of moderate drought. Going downwards towards Las Cruces and Carlsbad, we do have extreme drought, though that used to be exceptional. So we are seeing that our levels are lowering down and the water is refilling and replenishing. That is great for us because we have been in exceptional drought conditions recently, and as they drop with this nice rain that we are getting, we can see that things will get better for us from here on out. We are also seeing that some places don't have any drought at all, which can make for something wonderful for us. Our current temperatures right now are resting in the 70s and the 80s, 73 in Farmington and 75 in Gallup, going down and up into 83 in Roswell, 80 in Portales, and 78 in Clovis. Tonight's lows consist of 40s, 50s, and even some 30s, 33 in Gallup and 35 in Raton, with 40 in Farmington, 40 in Santa Fe, 49 in Portales, 56 in Roswell, and 47 in Clovis. I'm loving these cooler nights, and I know my dog is too. Tomorrow's highs will consist of the 70s and 80s again, but they can even get up to the 90s down in Las Cruces and Alamogordo, resting at 90, Carlsbad at 93, Hobbs at 92. The 70s mainly in Farmington, Gallup, and Santa Fe. Farmington at 72, Gallup at 75, and Santa Fe at also 75. Roswell, Portales, and Clovis all resting in the 80s, with Roswell at 89, Portales at 88, and Clovis at 85. Going into our 7-day forecast, starting out with Roswell, we're seeing clear skies for the most part with a little bit of cloudiness on Friday and Monday and windiness on Tuesday in the 80s and 70s, dropping into the 50s and 40s with a low of 49 on Friday night. Carlsbad, also pretty clear skies except for some cloudiness on Friday and Monday with 70s, 80s, and 90s, getting up to 94 today, Thursday, and dropping down into the 50s and 40s, 48 on Friday. Tucumcari, clear skies for the most part except for some windiness on Monday, Tuesday, and some cloudiness on Friday in the 80s, 70s, and 60s, and dropping down into the 40s and 50s. Finishing off with Portales at the 80s and 70s with some windiness on Tuesday and dropping into the 40s and 50s for the rest of the week and into next week.
Well, that sounds great. I'm ready for that wind to get over.
It's absolutely beautiful weather, you know, and even the winds, they aren't too bad coming in. So,
yeah.
I'm excited.
All right, we'll have more news right after this break.
Welcome back. KENW, the channel that hosts this news program, as well as several other television programs, is celebrating its 50th anniversary this weekend at the TV station in Portales. The event will include a special tribute towards the founding director, Mr. Dwayne Ryan, and you can take part in the festivities and see the TV station here for yourself. The event is from 2 to 5 p.m. at 1450 South Avenue N in Portales, New Mexico, and we hope to see you there to celebrate this huge milestone at our station. Neighborhoods across New Mexico will soon be cleaner and quieter as the U.S. Postal Service rolls out its new electrical mail delivery trucks.
Roz Brown from the Public News Service has more.
The USPS received $3 billion in funding from the Inflation Reduction Act to electrify its fleet, the largest in the country. Kathleen Garcia with the Sierra Club says the next generation delivery vehicles will not only fight climate change, but also reduce noise pollution for the 45 million Americans who live in close proximity to a road or other transport infrastructure.
A lot of these vehicles just go a short distance every single day, and then they return back to the hub where they can easily be charged. And so it just makes a lot of common sense.
New Mexico is one of 13 states that have mandated adoption of electric vehicles. To that end, the state's Clean Car Tax Credit officially launched on October 1st. It allows people who bought a clean car as of May 2024 to apply for state tax credits for the purchase. Up to $3,000 in credits are available for individuals or businesses. Many people have commented on the odd appearance of the new vehicles, which, compared to predecessors, have much larger windshields and bumpers and a hood that some say resembles a duckbill. Garcia says there's a good reason for the modifications.
The design changes were made to ensure the safety of the driver and the safety of folks that are around the vehicle, other drivers, pedestrians, bicyclists, to really make sure that they're moving around the town safely.
Within the next few years, the USPS expects to replace its current fleet, introduced 40 years ago, with 60,000 new vehicles, most of them electric models across all 50 states. I'm Roz Brown reporting.
Thanks, Roz. Within the next few years, the USPS expects to replace its current fleet in New Mexico, introduced 40 years ago, with 1,200 new vehicles, most of them electric models. Eastern New Mexico and Portales has been named amongst the best colleges in the country. The recognition comes from the U.S. News and World Report. According to an KENW press release, the university ranked 46th out of the 150 in the social mobility for the regional universities in the West, moving up 24 spots from the previous ranking in 2024. Social mobility rankings are determined by a school's ability to graduate students who are at an economic disadvantage and are less likely to finish college. KENW is also ranked as number 50 on top public universities in the West.
This week is National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week and aims to help protect you and your family from being in danger. Exposure to lead can result in serious illness and could require immediate medical attention. Lead exposure in children can cause behavioral and learning problems, hearing loss at higher levels, seizures, comas, and even death. However, lead exposure can be prevented, and awareness of the possible resources can help protect your family. Homes built before the 1980s have a higher chance of using lead paint in the home, and lead exposure can come from older water pipes, soil, and dust. Renovation, repair, or painting activities can disturb lead paint, releasing the lead into the air onto surfaces, posing a health risk. Lead can also get into drinking water if it comes from lead pipes, faucets, or fixtures. Avoid using chipped, cracked lead or crystal lead, lead-glazed pottery, or lead porcelain cookware with food preparation or storage. For more information, you can visit the FDA's website at fda.gov. Vice President Kamala Harris is receiving some unconventional support in her pace for the White House. Republican former Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney is campaigning with Harris today in several key battleground states.
Our Washington correspondent, Julia Benbrook, gives us a look at the latest developments in the race.
An unlikely duo on the campaign trail. Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for president, and former Representative Liz Cheney, who not that long ago was one of the top Republicans in the House of Representatives. The pair traveling to suburban counties in key swing states Monday. Cheney, a staunch conservative, voted to impeach Donald Trump, was primaried and ousted. She's a part of a growing group of Republicans who have said they believe the former president is a threat to democracy.
you have to choose in this race between someone who has been faithful to the Constitution, who will be faithful, and Donald Trump.
The Harris campaign views these appearances as a way to reach undecided and persuadable voters. Just last week, Harris rallied alongside more than 100 Republicans who have backed her candidacy.
No matter your party, no matter who you voted for last time, there is a place for you in this campaign.
Part of the group she's trying to reach, those who supported former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in the Republican primary. Despite her blistering criticism of Trump, Haley endorsed him after dropping out of the race and spoke in support of his candidacy at the Republican National Convention.
She's supported me, and we had a great primary. It was an unbelievable primary. It was the fastest anyone's ever gone.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
The election is less than 2 weeks away, and the presidential race is only getting closer.
Be sure to stay informed about the candidates and the issues being voted on in this election coming up on November 5th.
Yeah, and coming up after the break, Lorenzo will have his full sports report for you, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Lorenzo Solis. Let's take a dive into the sports world. Starting off today's report, the wagon wheel game was played on Saturday, and unfortunately for the Greyhounds, they lost against West Texas A&M. While the game was a long and hard-fought battle in the first half of the game, West Texas took the lead and ran with it as the final score racked up to 42-24, with West Texas A&M running up the hill and taking the wheel this year. This should light the fire for the Hounds next year and take back the wheel for 2025. Rushing into the next report, we have the results from Monday's game. With the Cardinals taking on the Chargers, it was a nail-biter of a game with both teams keeping neck-and-neck score throughout the entire game. Until the Chargers took the lead in the latter half of the game, victory was in the palm of their hands. Until the Cardinals stole the game with a last-minute game-winning field goal. That turned the tides with the final score of 17-15. With the scathing loss for the Chargers, can they keep pace next week when they face the Saints this Sunday? Making the pass to the next NFL report, Baltimore Ravens took on Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday, and it was an interesting game to say the least. Starting off, the Buccaneers held the lead for the first quarter until Baltimore took the lead and held on to it for the rest of the game. While the Buccaneers tried to slingshot their way back up the score, they were 10 points short of catching up, with the game's final score ending with the Ravens winning 41-31. Racing into the Formula One scene, we have updates on the United States Grand Prix, which happened this Sunday in Austin, Texas. Charles Leclerc won after over an hour and a half of grueling wheel-to-wheel racing. The Monaco native gained 25 points towards the driver's standing and the Constructors' Championship. In the driver's standing, he now stands at third place with 275 points behind Max Verstappen in the first and Lando Norris in second with 354 and 297 points respectively. With 5 races left in the calendar and this week's race in Mexico City, this is proving to be an incredible Formula One season. That's all the sports I have for you right now, but we'll be right back after the break with more news.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at Portales' weather for the rest of this week.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Going in on Wednesday at 89 with sunny and clear skies. Thursday with also sunny and clear skies, but very high temperatures at 93. And dropping down on Friday to 76 with a little bit of cloudiness going on there.
That is what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I want those low temperatures before Halloween comes around, because I am not about to be in all those layers, walking around at night in like 70 degrees.
Yeah, I'm with,
I know,
yeah, I'm with you
it's
there.
so good. But we're going to have more news for you on Friday, so we'll see you then.